What's up guys, this is Miasin. So I've been wanting to make a video on the Gladiator Beast deck for quite a while, and here I am now with the updated version featuring the new support from Supreme Darkness. That said, by the way, is like a goldmine for any rogue deck out there. It's insane for Gladiator Beast, Shark, Crystron, etc. The list goes on. So many like random decks just got insane support, and Gladiator Beast is no exception because that deck kind of had like a lot of issues with starters. It didn't really have any real one-card starters. There weren't that many good Gladiator Beast monsters out there, and even like the Test Tiger, I wasn't really impressed by it. But now there's a better test monster, Test Bear, I think, and also there's a new Link 2 monster. Every new card is incredible, and I will be going over pretty much every single one of them in this video. But before we go any further, I would really appreciate if you could smash the like and subscribe button. And of course, if this video can get to 1,000 likes, I will be making a full spreadsheet on this deck where I cover every single combo on every single hand trap imaginable. So you already know what to do, smash the like and subscribe button. Alright, so combo number 1, I have Rescue Cat, and I believe that is any discard. So you can normal summon that and then special summon your Magister 2X from the deck. This is the new monster, so it is insanely good. It's one of the only Gladiator Beast monsters that actually does something in your hand. So you can reveal it and one other Gladiator Beast monster in your hand, special summon both. So it kind of reminds me of that level 8 light dragon monster that can summon itself and something else. You know what I'm talking about? Like it was kind of played in Blue Eyes, not Nebula, maybe Nebula Dragon, something like that, whatever. And also, if it is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, you can search your deck for a spell or trap card. So, well, a Gladiator Beast spell or trap card, so it's pretty nice. But anyways, link off into the Darios, because obviously Rescue Cat doesn't trigger the effect to search for multiple reasons, and also their effects are negated. And the Darios, or Darios, whatever, when this card is link summoned, it revives back a level 4 lower Gladiator Beast monster from a grave, or also summons it from the hand, which does matter sometimes. And if your opponent controls a monster, you can summon it from the deck instead, so that's actually really cool. But you cannot use monsters as link material for the rest of the turn except Gladiator Beast monsters, which is semi-annoying because the Test Panther, the Link 2, is not a Gladiator Beast monster. And it has another effect that kind of protects like your, I think like your Gladiator Beast monsters from being destroyed by battle background effects during the opponent's battle phase, which is not super relevant. But yeah, Darius is going to be reviving back the Magister. Magister has been special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, so it triggers to search the field spell, Flavius, Arena of the Gladiator Beast. And this card is kind of like a Draconic Diagram. So once per turn, during each turn, you can discard a card and then search a Gladiator Beast monster from your deck to your hand every single turn. It's not just on activation. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can summon a Gladiator Beast monster from the deck, and it cannot be destroyed by battle permanently. So that's actually a really cool effect. And then during the end phase, not just during your end phase, if a Gladiator Beast monster was special summoned from the deck this turn, you can set a Gladiator trap card from your deck, so you can get access to War Chariot that way, so you don't have to like search it out by other means. For example, like Magister doesn't have to search it out, you can just search this, and then you're passively getting access to War Chariot on top of searching a Gladiator Beast monster. But yeah, you're going to be discarding your other card, can be anything else, and you're going to be searching for another Magister, and then link offer the Test Panther, and Test Panther, you probably already know what it is if you're a Gladiator Beast player. So on the link summon, you're going to be able to search a Gladiator Beast card from your deck to your hand, and it also has another effect where you target a Gladiator Beast monster control, you shovel it into the deck, and then you special summon a Gladiator Beast monster with a different original name from the deck, and it is treated as being special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, so it will be triggering its extra effect. But yeah, search your deck for the what is Atorix? I think that's the name of the monster off of the Test Panther, and then use the effect of Magister, so summon both. And then the Atorix will trigger in order to send a Gladiator Beast monster from the deck to the graveyard, and then it becomes that level and that name, which is very relevant. And you're also going to be able to use the effect of Test Panther, so transform that Magister into Darius. And Darius, very popular card, so that's the monster reborn. It also negates the effect of the monster that you revive. But that is completely fine because we're going to be Contact Fusing for Tamer Editor, another card that everybody knows about. So on once per turn, it's just a soft once per turn, you can special summon a Gladiator Beast monster, fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. So it's a very nasty card, and then you can just keep reviving back this card over and over. And we're gonna be summoning the Dominatius. So this card can negate monster effects from any location, negate and destroy, and then you choose the attack targets for your opponent's attacks, and it has 3,500 attack. It's a big boy. But yeah, link off your two monsters for the Gladiator Beast Dragasis, which is not really relevant, and then Contact Fuse for the Gladiator Beast Claudius using 5 Gladiator Beast monsters from your field and or graveyard. And you cannot use the Tamer Editor because it cannot be used as a fusion material. Otherwise, it would have been a little too broken. but that also means that it is immune to Super Poly. But yeah, on the summon, it gets you an effect where on your next battle phase, you're actually going to have 2 battle phases, and then you pass turn, and on the end phase, you're going to be getting the War Chariot, so that's a monster negate. By the way, this Dominatius could also have been like something else, but Dominatius, I think in this situation, is, I guess, like your best option, whatever. And on your opponent's turn, you're going to have like even more interruptions than what you're seeing, because you're seeing Dominatius, which can negate a monster effect, War Chariot that can negate a monster effect, but we're not done yet, because when our opponent uses a monster effect, depending on which turn it is, so if it is our turn, we special summon a Gladiator Beast monster from our deck, but if our opponent is using a monster effect on his turn, we get to special summon a level 11 or lower Gladiator Beast monster from extra deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. And that means that you can summon Gizaris, and Gizaris gets its effect when it is special summoned. It's an optional when effect though, it does miss timing, so do watch out. But on the summon, Gizaris can destroy 2 cards on the field. So that means that you got 3 interruptions off of 1 single card, which is actually not too bad. And you're also controlling the game state very well, because you get to control like what is attacking what, so your opponent is not even going to be running over Test Panther. And then when our opponent summons, we summon a Gladiator Beast, attacks, we summon a Gladiator Beast monster from the deck. Next turn, we get double battle phases, and then we can also summon another Claudius by shuffling back a bunch of resources, so you never run out of fuel. Okay, so we can actually do a relatively similar combo with Rescue Rabbit and a discard, but I don't really know which one is the best. But in this situation, let's just say that we go for the Rescue Rabbit, so we special summon 2 Gladiator Beast and Dal, and then we're going to be linking off into Test Panther, and then Test Panther searches for this Monster Reborn card, the Comeback. It special summons a Gladiator Beast monster from our hand or graveyard with a different type from the monsters you control. So we control a beast, so we cannot special summon a beast, but Andal is a beast warrior. And then Test Panther target, and then we're going to be special summoning the Magister from the deck. And then Magister is going to be searching for the field spell, and then discard your other card. It can be anything, like I said. Search your deck for this card right here, the Quest, and then link off for the Darios, and we're not going to be reviving back from the graveyard, but rather summon from the hand, because in the graveyard there's nothing that's really worth reviving, but the Quest. On the summon, we get to recycle back a Gladiator Beast card from the graveyard to the hand, and this card is not once per turn, so we can just use it again, and then revive back that Magister. Again, everything is a different type, so Beast Warrior, Winged Beast, and this is going to be a Beast, and we're going to be linking off into Dragasis, and then Shrig the Ominous Omen, Contact Fuse for 5 in order to summon that Claudius, and then we're going to be getting its effect for the extra battle phase, and then end phase, we're going to be sending that War Chariot, and then on the opponent's turn, even though this looks like a worse board than combo number 1, it actually is pretty much the same amount of interruptions, because we do have that Shrig the Ominous Omen that can trigger when we summon a Winged Beast, Beast, or Beast Warrior monster. So on the summon of Gizaris, we get to destroy 2 cards, and the Shrig can banish another card on the field. So that is, I guess you can say, 3 interruptions. But if you summon, I believe it's Heraklinos, I don't think that monster will trigger Shrig. I could be wrong, maybe it will. I think it's the Dominatius that will not trigger because it is a Sea Serpent for no good reason. Okay, so this combo is actually a joke to achieve. All you need is Test Bear, and any Gladiator Beast monster could be anything, so I can kind of consider Test Bear to be like a 1-card combo. But yeah, normal summon that, and then use its effects, so tribute it, and shuffle back a Gladiator Beast monster from your hand and or field into the deck or extra deck, and then summon 2 Gladiator Beast monsters from the deck, and they're treated as being special summoned by a Gladiator Beast monster effect, so they both trigger their effects. Magister and a Torix. A Torix is going to be sending this card right here, the Vespasius. The only reason why we're sending this instead of the Augustus is because this card is a water, so it does not lose to Bestials. We just need to send a level 5 or higher so that we can go into Team Editor, so just keep that in mind. And we're searching for the Comeback. Comeback is going to be reviving back the Vespasius, and then shuffle it into the Teamer Editor. So again, that's the reason why we're not sending in the dark. We might as well send the water in order to mitigate the impact of Bestials, because now we're going to be going into the Dominatius or whatever. I believe this played around Nibiru, because the Test Bear was summon number 1, and then the 2 monsters, summon number 3, summon number 4. Actually, no, never mind, that does lose to Nibiru. Yeah, just by a little bit, but whatever, it's fine. Our opponent doesn't have Nib, he's not that good. Yeah, Test Panther, search the Monster Reborn, and then Monster Reborn back the Tamer Editor, and then effect again, special summon that Claudius, and then Test Panther effect, transform that Claudius into the Quest, recycle back the Monster Reborn, again, link off into Darios, and then don't use the effect of the first Darios, otherwise you won't be able to link off the Test Panther. So then link off for another Darios, and then that is going to be reviving back the Quest, which then gets back your Comeback, and then come back for the Magister, and then link off for the link to the Dragasis, and then you can use that comeback again. And comeback is going to be reviving back the Teamer Editor, which then summons the Heraclinos, and then we can hard make the Claudius because we finally have enough names. Yes, it's very tricky because the test monsters, they don't count, and the Teamer Editor, it doesn't count because, again, it cannot be used as a fusion material. So 5 Gladiator Beast monsters that you gotta shuffle back is actually kind of harder than you think. And the reason for that is because when you're summoning your Teamer Editor, for example, you're shuffling back the cards back into the deck, so it doesn't really fuel your graveyard with anything, really. But yeah, all of that, again, off of like a 1.5 card combo, which is pretty impressive. And that is a massive board. That's a Heraclinos, which can negate spells and traps over and over. And then the Dominatius, whatever. It's confusing as hell name, which can negate a monster effect. The Charade can banish a card when you summon your Gizaris or whatever. And then we obviously have the Claudius that summons that Gizaris to begin with. So yeah, a lot of interruptions, absolutely beautiful. There you go, Merry Christmas. Let's get into the 4th, I believe, and final combo. Okay, so this time we're actually beating Nibiru, but for real. Last time was like summon them for 6. It's kind of shaky, doesn't count, but maybe your opponent was like sleepy a little and yeah, he forgot to nib you and then, oh, it's too late. Tamer Editor, summon Dominate, yeah, not gonna happen, huh? Anyways, Magister and Autorix is full combo and beats Nibiru because look at this, we're going to be using the effects, send the Vespasius, whatever, and then search your deck for the comeback off of the Magister, and then revive back the Vespasius, so that's 3 summons, and then summon number 4 is going to be the Tamer Editor, and then we're going to be summoning the Dominatius on summon number 5. Nibiru is now checked because that can negate it, and then we're going to be linking off into Test Panther. Test Panther, search your deck for the field spell, activate that, discard your Nibiru, whatever, your other card in your hand, and then search your deck for Autorix, which you then normal summon, and then Test Panther transform into the Quest. A quest to recycle back the monster reborn. So we got a Sea Serpent, a Beast, and a Winged Beast. So we can just revive back the Tamer Editor, which is a Beast Warrior, and then effect again, summon the Dominatius. Every single step here is very relevant. You gotta do everything in the exact same way I'm doing. It's very confusing because if you do anything wrong, it will not work. It took me like a full hour almost to figure out just this exact line. It's very annoying because there's so many like obscure restrictions. Like the Darius, for example, as soon as we use that Monster Reborn, we can't use anything as a link material except Gladiator Beast monsters. Again, very annoying because the Test Panther is not a Gladiator Beast, so it randomly just clogs your zones. And it's really funny that in this deck, one of the biggest problems is that you don't have enough zones to keep summoning your monsters. So sometimes you just have to link off your monsters just to fuel your graveyard with more Gladiator Beast monsters so that you finally can summon Claudius at the end. And it's really frustrating. And also, you have so many monsters that you can't even use comeback sometimes. But yeah, anyways, a quest recycle back the comeback, and then link off into the Dragasis, and then we finally no longer have a Beast Warrior on the field, so that comeback can be used in order to revive back the Tamer Editor, and then Tamer Editor is going to be used in order to summon Heraclinos, and then link off for another Darius, and then link off for the Charade, and then Contact Fuse for 5 in order to summon that Claudius. So with 2 cards, not only are we safe from Nibiru, but we also summon the Claudius that can negate Gizaris, destroy 2 cards, Charade, banish a card, Heraclinos, negate like whatever 3 cards, with double Dominatius, and again, on the end phase, the field spell is going to be searching the War Chariot, and there is another Gladiator Beast trap card that we can also set that destroys, I believe, cards on your opponent's field equal to the amount of Gladiator Beast monsters that you control, something like that. It's not too bad, so yeah, it's really between this one and the other one, but whatever. There's a lot of options at your disposal. I don't think it destroys like any kinds of cards. I think it has to be like face-up cards, something like that. There had to be like a stipulation. But yeah, beautiful combo, eh? Anyways, let's get into the deck profile. Okay, for the deck profile, again, I will try to make this completely idiot-proof so that even if you have an IQ of 5, you can still understand what I'm trying to do. So yeah, for the hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Imperm. Ash is there so I can safely combo through like the Molchamis. But I don't think that this deck can afford to play that many hand traps just because you still need a lot of Gladiator Beast monsters in order to, you know, get your engine started. Otherwise, you're going to be breaking so much. So yeah, only 3 Imperm so that you can top deck it for a turn and you're not going to cry about it. And then 3 Droplet, 3 Book of Eclipse so that when you only have space for like 12 non-engine, I recommend this kind of configuration because at least the card that you draw for turn going second matters. Whereas when you're playing only 12, you really need to draw like 2 hand traps in your opening hand and the masks are against you. So yeah, that's just a friendly advice for from someone who keeps scrubbing at YCSs. I'm garbage at the game. Don't listen to anything I say. Yes. Anyways, for the starters, we play 3 Rescue Rabbit. I think it's slightly better than Cat, just because even though I think Rescue Cat is also a solid card, you can also play Rescue Cat, but then you're gonna have so many normal summons. Rescue Rabbit, it summons the Andal, and this card is really good because even if you draw it, even if you draw 1 or even 2 copies, you can go into Link Spider and then summon your other Andals. And Test Panther, it says 2 monsters, including a Gladiator Beast. It doesn't have to be 2 Gladiator Beast monsters, so that's really convenient. Even Darius, so you can just, you know, draw a bunch of Andals and benefit off of that. So Rescue Rabbit, it doesn't really make your strategy worse, and I think, if anything, you can almost argue that the Rescue Rabbit combo is just a little better. So I do like it, and it's also a level 4 monster, so if you get hit by whatever, it's a weird hatch-up, you can use it as an Xyz material for Baguska, and if you get shifted, you can go Rescue Rabbit, summon your 2 Andals, and then make Baguska passwords. If you get hit by Shifter when you have Rescue Cat, and you summon your 2 Magisters, you're not doing jack. Anyways, a 3 Test Bear, which is the closest thing there is to another 1-card combo in this deck. 3 Primate Roar, which can summon your Gladiator Beast Andal, so that's very similar to like Unexpected Die. It's just that this card is slightly better because it also has a graveyard effect that can act as an interruption when your opponent summons a monster on the field, and you have like an Andal in your field or graveyard. You can just banish the Roar from the grave and then banish a monster on the field with lower attack than the Andal. And this is a big boy. It has 1900 attack. So yeah, that's the only reason why I'm playing this with no other Primate cards. I don't think the other ones are really worth playing. I don't think you should dedicate ever like a gigantic Primate engine to your deck unless it really makes sense. And finally, 3 Field Spell, which is not a 1-card combo, but over time, it gets you to playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So I still think that it is a solid card that you can max out, or you can play 2 copies of it, or you can even play 1 copy of it. I think any number on this card makes sense. I just don't think that you should dedicate to terraforming. I don't think that would be really good, because that card's not even that great, to be honest. And then for the monsters, the other ones, we play 3 Andal, obviously, 3 Atorix, and 3 Magister. So obviously, if you draw these 2 cards, you're chilling. If you draw like double Andal, you're chilling, or like Roar Andal, that's also very good. But you can't draw like double Roar. That just does not make sense. And then for the other one-of Gladiator Beast monsters, the Quest, which is very nice at recycling back cards over and over, and it's not a once per turn, and recycles back any Gladiator Beast card. So your spell cards, your trap cards, whatever. I mean, your one-of trap card. Technically, I guess, Darius is a Monster Reborn, another solid card, and then Vespasius and Augustus. So these are the 2 high-level monsters that you kind of need. Augustus is good when you have like a lot of names in your hand, and Vespasius, it summons itself, I guess, when like your monsters battle, but it doesn't really do that much else. But I guess it's a water monster so that you don't lose to Bestials too much. Again, it's like the only thing that I could really think of. I really was trying to like find arguments for like some of the other Gladiator Beast monsters, and I'm not gonna lie, they're really cheeks. And finally, 2 Gladiator Beasts come back, which is the Monster Reborn. Very good card, and again, not once per turn. That's the benefit of playing so many old cards in your deck. Just nothing is once per turn. All those cards were printed long before Yu-Gi-Oh! Was degenerate in the first place. Anyways, for the extra deck, double Claudius, because, you know, you go through your first one, and then you go through your second one, so you never run out of gas, or recycle back your resources over and over and over. This deck has a beautiful grind game. Anyways, double Dominitius or whatever. It's also a really nice card. You summon it on summon number 5 off of Tamer Editor, and you just profit. And then the one Heraklinos, the spell and trap negate, not once per turn again. As long as you have cards to discard, you can just use it over and over and over. It's a classic. Everybody loves it. And then finally the Gizaris. So you're obviously never trying to summon these cards with their real summoning conditions. You're really just cheating them out with Tamer Editor. Same thing with Dominatius, whatever. Because this one technically requires like Vespasius and 2 Gladiator Beast monsters, which is extremely unrealistic. And this one is like Bestiari and a Glad Beast. Like technically you can make it, but we're not really trying to main deck Bestiari. We're not in 2009 or something anymore. And yeah, this one's Laquari and 2 Gladiator Beast. That's even worse. We're absolutely not playing Laquari anymore. Anyways, for the extra deck, Baguska, of course, for slightly obvious reasons. You know, Shifter and Shifter, really. And I guess the Molchamis, Shurig, the Ominous Omin, the Dragasis, which is Cheeks. That card literally does nothing. It's just a name. And then double the Rayros. Yeah, if anything, this card's actually harder to summon. It's really whack. Anyways, the Test Panther and the Link Spider. For the idea section, I don't even think I have anything to cover, but I guess Lordly Load that I actually told you not to play. Nauseous, which is worse than Atorix, so don't play it. And it's also like a weird mix of like Atorix and Vespasius. Like that card overall just sucks ass, don't play it. Bestiari, not good. Test Tiger, not good. Again, we're not in the Edison format anymore, so it's absolutely not worth playing. It's very neggy for no good reason. Test Bear is like 10 times better. It's not even remotely close. Access Code, SP, Test Panther, Cross Sheep, whatever. I don't even know why these cards are here. You really just don't need them anymore. I mean, the Test Panther, if you want to play multiple copies, sure. But the extra deck space is actually kind of tight. I can't really think of like anything I would be willing to cut necessarily. Maybe the second Tamer Editor? I'm not 100% sure, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, like the third comeback if you really want to. The second one actually does come up in the combo, so that's the reason why the third one might be a consideration. Terraforming, not really. Call by the Grave, I guess. And then Rejection, I also don't really believe in that card. And this is the other card I was talking about, the other trap card that you can set with your field spell, Gladiator Ruby's Charge. So target face-up cards on the field, up to the number of Gladiator Beast monsters you control with different names, destroy them. If it could also destroy like face-down cards, it would be really nice against trap decks. But unfortunately, it is not the case, so whether you play this or the War Chariot, it doesn't really matter too much. As a matter of fact, you can even argue that you might be better off without, you know, the War Chariot in your main deck, just so that you have less bricks and you can side it instead. I don't really know, and I don't really care either. But yeah, that's it for this beautiful Gladiator Beast combo video and deck profile. You guys let me know how you feel about this deck in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.